Why did an entire US platoon vanish in the jungle, without a single radio call for help? Not captured. Not killed. Just gone. That question haunted American intelligence for decades. The official report says missing in action. But the survivors, the few who came back, tell a different story. It happened in 1971, near the Laos-Russian border. The war was already lost in hearts and minds, but on paper, it still had to be won. So when the command planned a small reconnaissance mission into a valley marked as quiet, no one questioned it. The valley's codename was Silent Rain, a place that didn't even exist on the map. Lieutenant Mark Hanley was 25, fresh out of college, good smile, bad lungs, and a letter from his fiancée folded in his vest. He led 12 men. They called themselves the Dozen Ghosts. They left the base before dawn. Light drizzle, engines humming, radio chatter, nothing unusual. Just another patrol. Except this time, the jungle didn't sound right.
No birds. No insects.
No wind. Private Lewis joked. Even the jungle's scared of us. Nobody laughed. By noon, they'd crossed into enemy territory. The canopy was so thick, sunlight never touched the ground. It felt like being underwater. And soon, their radios began to crackle, distorted voices, whispers that didn't belong to anyone. At first, they thought it was interference. But when one of those voices repeated Hanley's own orders, word for word, they realized something was very wrong. That night, they set camp near a small stream. The air was hot, wet, and heavy, like breathing through a soaked rag. They took turns on watch. Nothing happened. Until 3:17 a.m. Corporal Diaz saw movement in the trees, shapes, flickering like smoke. He called out. No answer. Then one by one, the trip flares went off, but there was no sound, no gunfire, no screams. Just light, and then darkness. When Hanley checked the perimeter, 2 men were gone. No blood, no footprints. Just their rifles lying in the mud, still warm. By morning, the jungle was quiet again. The platoon pushed forward, trying to reach a hilltop for extraction. They never did. The path looped back on itself, their own footprints leading them in circles.
Kompas nedles punjuzelesli.
Even the sun seemed to shift. They marked trees with their knives. But hours later, the same trees appeared again. Same marks. Same routes. Same silence. By the third day, rations ran low. The men were sweating, shivering, hallucinating. The jungle began to feel alive, watching, listening. Private Miller said he saw someone ahead, waving. It was one of the missing men. They ran to him. But when they got closer, it wasn't him. Just a uniform hanging on a branch, sleeves moving in the wind. On the 4th day, the rain started. It didn't stop for the next 48 hours. Weapons jammed, boots rotted, skin peeled. Every breath smelled of rot and metal. Hanley wrote in his notebook, "The jungle is rewriting itself. We walk in, and it closes behind us." At dawn, they found a bunker, half buried, old, probably French from the 1950s. Inside, dry air, rusted equipment, and bones. Dog tags still on the necks. Different war, same place. They took shelter. But that night, Private Lewis disappeared from his post. His M16 still on safety. When they found him in the morning, he was sitting by the stream, smiling. Eyes open.
No pulse.
The radio crackled. Hanley heard a voice whisper, "You're not supposed to be here." By day 6, there were only 5 men left. They stopped calling it a mission. It became survival, or whatever was left of it. They found strange markings on the trees. Circles, slashes, painted in mud and blood. No one claimed to have made them. Hanley began losing track of time. He'd write the same sentence over and over. "We are not lost, the jungle is." That evening, they heard chopper blades. Rescue. They fired flares, but the sound faded. The jungle swallowed it. No helicopter was ever logged in that area. Only 2 survived, Hanley and Sergeant West. They stumbled out near a riverbank after 9 days. Both barefoot, covered in cuts and mud. They didn't speak for hours. When rescue teams found them, Hanley's notebook was gone. He didn't remember what happened. West refused to talk. He'd just repeat. They told us to stop climbing. We didn't listen. Weeks later, Hanley was sent home. His lungs were failing, and his mind was worse. Doctors called it tropical fever. But sometimes, in his sleep, he'd wake up screaming one word. Years later, during an archival cleanup, a CIA analyst found an old radio log from Laos. Same coordinates, same date. The transmission lasted only 11 seconds. It contained fragments of speech, heavy breathing, a man shouting coordinates. And in the background, something like rain. Except it wasn't rain. It was whispering. No official record mentions Operation Silent Rain. The documents are gone. The platoon, erased. But every few years, locals near the border claim they hear strange noises at night. English words echoing through the trees. Hold the line. Where's the extraction? We are still here. And maybe they are. Because in that jungle, sound doesn't die. It just waits until someone listens again.